Well, such on four, back with another story time. It's been a while since I did one of these because my memory's really bad, so like I can't just remember stories, even though my whole life feels like a movie. And I can't lie, this is the sequel, fam. Well, not even a movie. I treat my life like a TV show. and this is season 19. I'm 19, turned 19 last year, end of last year, December 18th. And yeah, I can't lie, season 19 has been so funny, man. Fam, let's just get into it. So you've seen the title. Flipping, I'm at home applying for jobs when I get back to uni. I'm like, fam, like I want a little bit more money on the side, man. I'm trying to get some Jordans and stuff. I'm like, alright, cool. So I've applied. My boy already works in this warehouse. So a few of my boys work here. So yeah, I've applied for this warehouse. I won't even say what it is. I've applied for this warehouse. And I applied for bare places, but this was the only one that even got back to me. So I'm like, yo, that's nuts, like, that's nuts that out of all the ones that I've contacted, the one that I was told to talk to first is the only one that actually replied. So I'm like, alright, cool. So, yeah, I go on the induction. Meanwhile, I'm thinking my induction is like my first shift. But all it is that we just sat down watching safety videos and they quizzed you at the end to test if you'd actually been listening. You had to get 7 out of 10 right. I didn't even know if I got that because the questions felt like they were kind of tricking you. But within 2 days, I got a text back saying, "Oh yeah, we want you to start Monday." I'm like, I got lectures on Monday. I can't go because they wanted me to be there for 5. At the pickup point, they drive you there, so they want me to be there for 5. Meanwhile, my lecture starts at 5, so I told them, yeah, no, I can't go. Cause I'm not putting flipping money ahead of their education because there's this thing called deferred gratification I learned in sociology where it's when you work hard now to get the money later. So like you go through the degree, the education system to get an even better, higher paying job in the future than say I just dropped out and did 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week even at the warehouse. Yeah, and you would get a lot of money now, don't get me wrong. Like if you do 6 nights a week at a warehouse, you're getting paid, but you'll get paid even better. You'll like, yeah, if you work hard and then get a proper big like business job in the future. So yeah, but I'm aware of the fact that you can do both. You don't need to do 5 nights a week. You can do like 3-4 nights a week and get paid now whilst learning, and you have like a lot of disposable income right now. Like that's calm. So I was like, all right, yeah, cool. So flipping Monday, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to. I've got a lecture. But they're like, all right, when can you next work? I'm like, Wednesday. And they're like, oh, no, we haven't got anything Wednesday, but what about Thursday? I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll work Thursday. Then. I got the rest of the week off. I'm like, yeah, cool. So Thursday comes. Thursday is yesterday, by the way. This just happened, okay? This literally just happened. I can't emphasize that enough. This is the freshest story time you will ever get, because there's no other event where I could just get out of it and just record. But this is like the one time on the channel where it's literally just happened and I'll tell you the story. I'm in shock. It's on my TikTok already if you've seen that. But fam, literally, it's now Thursday. So I walked, I've left the accommodation. I have to walk back because I remember that I left the £2 that they asked you to bring so you can pay for a locker. I'm like, all right, cool. So I've gone back. I've now walked. I'm speed walking. They tell me to get there for 4. So I'm speed walking. I get there. I'm like, on the way there, I've called to tell them I'm going to be a little bit late to the coach. Meanwhile, she's telling me, oh, no, don't worry, it's fine, it's fine. I didn't know what she meant by that. But when I got to the coach, I was sat there for 10 minutes. So at this point, I'm furious. It's like, fam, like, I rushed to get here. I rushed eating my food just to sit here for 10 minutes whilst we wait for other people to come. Meanwhile, they're telling me you're going to start at 6. You'll get there for 5, but you're going to start at 6. I'm like, She's like, but don't worry, you'll get paid for the extra hour. I'm like, fam, like, the money's not a problem. What do you want me to do for an hour? Because there's no service there. Like, the flipping coach pulls up and there's no service. So I'm sat there scrolling the timeline. Meanwhile, people are making jokes. I can't see the pictures, so I don't even know what the punchlines to the jokes are. I'm just reading. So I'm just praying that tweets come up where I can just read the tweet. Fam, because there's no service, eventually the timeline even stops. It's like, you know, like on TV shows when sometimes they'll make jokes, like in cartoon, like there was an episode of Family Guy where they made a joke about how like the animators left the flipping the studio. So like I think Brian was just there. There was one episode where Brian is like at a protest and he tried to talk to some kid, but the kid left and he's like, oh, he's gone. Oh, the protests are gone. Oh, and the animators are gone. I was like, fam, like, the timeline just stops. Like, just cut off. So I'm just sat there listening to music. And then someone knocks me on the side. They're like, oh, they want you in the other room. So I'm there. And they're like, all right, you're going to start your shift now. I'm like, all right, cool. So I walk down. I'm with these 2 other girls. and we're talking amongst ourselves about where we want to work for the day. Well, the decision was made for us. This guy shouts out, he's like, oh, no, you go to that side. We're like, all right. So we've gone there. We've walked down to where we're actually going to work for the day. Fam, it's like a 2-minute walk within the warehouse to get to where we're actually going to work for the day. Like, when I say it's big, it is huge. Like, it's massive. So, yeah, we eventually get there. And they're allocating us into groups. So I'm telling the girls, like, I'm like, fam, hopefully we don't get split up, because I can't lie, if us three are here together today, it's gonna be a terribly long day. Well, that decision was made for us. There are 3 of us, and managers doing like groups of 7, and the cut off, like, he was counting people from that side, and then the girl on my right, she wasn't included in that. But then he started counting from the left, and me and one girl were included, but the other girl wasn't. So I didn't see her for the rest of the day. Even the coach back, she wasn't on the coach. I don't know what happened to her. As far as I'm concerned, she is still in that warehouse somewhere doing something, but I didn't see her for the rest of the day. Anyway, so me and the other girl walked to the same side, and even her, she got sent off to do something else. And I saw her, like, she was walking past bare, and we smiled at each other every time she walked past. But, like, yeah, we didn't say a word to each other for the rest of the day. Like, when I say past, like, I would be, like, in the back of a lorry, and she's, like, walking, like, 20 meters away, but we can see each other. But even us, we didn't see each other for the rest of the day, like up close, and we didn't talk for the rest of the day. I'm like, all right. So I'm flipping, I'm literally standing, I'm taking parcels out of, like, they've wrapped up parcels in like a bundle, and I'm cutting the bundle, like the plastic sheet that's like wrapped all together, and putting the parcels onto the belt. So for the most part, like, I go gym, yeah. So for the most part, like, these parcels are minor, like, it's not that deep. But then every now and then there's like a heavy parcel, and some of these parcels were very, very heavy. And like I just said, I've been going gym for 3 years, so like I do weightlifting, and I was struggling with some of these things. So I'm looking to my right, and fam, people were struggling. People were struggling with these items. I was thinking to myself, like, fam, if I could barely do this, and this is what I literally do, like, 3 days a week, then, fam, I'm praying for you lot over there, man. I'm praying for you lot. But, fam, so we're doing that for, like, an hour. Meanwhile, the guy I'm working with, I don't know what he's saying. Like, he's English, and I don't know what he's saying. Like, he just speaks so unclear. So I actually, like, he was telling me to do stuff. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm like, what? I walked up to him to try to hear it. He's like, but fam, like, what? I can't hear, but obviously I can't say that to the guy. But fam, like, we were there for 8 hours. We had about 10 minutes of dialogue, and of that 10 minutes, I understood about 5 words, and I'm not even lying. And even the manager was worse. He'd be like, hurry up, hurry up. I'm like, hurry up. Okay, cool, hurry up. I had to, like, deduct what he was saying from, like process elimination. I forgot what it's called, but, like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, when you have to figure out, okay, so he's not saying that, so he must be saying that. Fam, so these guys are just barking gibberish at me, and I had to just assume they're saying what I think they're saying. So literally, I'm taking the parcels out of the box. Then afterwards, a lorry comes, and we're taking the parcels. I say we, it was me, taking the parcels out of the back of the lorry and putting them onto the belt. So I'm doing this for time, and I'm just talking to myself, because you can't have your phone. So by default, there's no AirPods. Because to be fair, you're carrying parcels that could contain those items. So it'd be very hard for them to distinguish between your phone and that phone. Even though, to be honest, a new phone, to set it up, like, you'd have to, I don't know how you would possibly find the time to set up a new iPhone. I mean, maybe if you go to the toilet, I don't know, but they would clock. Because I have to take a whole box with you, stuff it down your pants, go toilet, but like, it's just not happening. But for whatever reason, they don't let you on your phone or your AirPod. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm talking to myself. I'm literally having the same conversation with myself like 5 times to just pass the time. Eventually, I got bored of that. I'm just rapping Ghana songs. I'm just singing Met Gala, Who You Feeling, Missing Me, Empire, So Far Ahead, A Lot of Cake, Flooded, Living Wild. I'm singing all these songs just to pass the time. Because I was at the very back of the lorry, so like, he could actually hear me. The guy I was working with couldn't hear. So I'm like singing at the top of my voice, knowing that no one can hear me. So I was actually having a fun time. Not gonna lie, I was actually enjoying myself. Because I clocked all I'm doing is taking a parcel, lifting it, and dropping it. Like, that is the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. And I'm literally just get to sing during that. Like, alright, okay. So I'm doing that. Fam, Meanwhile, the boss comes, the guy who I don't understand what he said. He's like, all right, work faster. I'm like, what? Like, work faster. He's like, no word of a lie. He spit. He's like, work faster. I'm like, all right. So I've worked a little bit faster, but I'm like, fam, these are like 40-inch TVs. I'm not breaking these. Someone's paid hundreds of pounds for this. I'm not gonna break this just for you to find out it was me that broke it and then I have to pay the money for it. So that's not happening. So I'm working faster but still working cautiously because I'm aware I don't even know what half these items are. I just know they're heavy. A lot of them say fragile, so I'm not gonna just slam them on. But now apparently that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing because after like 2 minutes, the boss comes back and he's talking about, oh, you're not working fast enough, you're not working fast enough, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And flipping, the guy, he comes with the assistant manager, and I found this so audacious because I'd been working for hours at this point. They were just walking around, so obviously they've got a lot of energy to spare. So they're getting these boxes and like literally robots at this point. Like, and he's like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I'm like, fam, like, all right, I'm standing there, I'm like, okay, you're cool. Like, fam, like, I don't know what you want me to say. So, yeah, after that, I was like, alright, but started working a little bit faster. And the guy I'm working with literally turns around. And this is one of the few things I understood him saying. And he says, oh, don't worry, just take your time. I'm like, alright, that's what I've been doing. But, alright, cool, thank you for saying that. Because now I've got someone with more authority than just my own laziness to actually do this. So he's like, yeah, literally just take your time. Like, if he was like our age, he would have just said it's not that deep. Like, just carry on doing what you've been doing. But he said, yeah, just take your time. I'm like, all right. So fam, I can't lie. Like, that's all there really is to report. And then after the shift was done at like 2, I'm not even gonna talk about the other woman who was on her phone, bossing us around and making jokes with people. But then when I come, her face changes and she's sending me to the other side of the warehouse with heavy boxes. But I'm not gonna talk about that. What I will talk about, so the agency drove you there and they take you back. So I finished at like 2. It's like now 2:30. I'm outside. I'm a very paranoid guy. So I'm a very, very paranoid guy. So I'm literally looking around for the coach that brought me here. I'm not seeing it. I've called the woman from the agency. She's not picking up. I've called my friend who I worked with. She's not picking up. No one's picking up. I've texted the woman from the agency. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? I've called the driver. No one's picking up. Fam, like 20 minutes later, it's now like nearly 3 o'clock. And then the driver pulls up. I'm the first one in the coach. And then he drove us. To be fair to him, he dropped us out like right outside the accommodation. So that was fine. But yeah, so that was that. Fam, I go to sleep. It's like now 4 o'clock. I'm exhausted. As I'm walking to my room, my eyes are shutting. Like, I'm that tired that my eyes are literally shutting as I'm walking. I've never experienced that. So yeah, and I've gone to sleep. I wake up, I got woken up by another branch of the agency asking for my bank details so that they can pay me. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, I don't like being woken up. But if I'm being woken up to ask how I can be paid, that's fine, man. I can't lie. That's the kind of alarm clock I'm praying that me and all my friends are waking up to from now on. I can't lie. In Jesus' name. That's the only alarm clock I've ever answered to. So yeah, that was a dub, can't lie. Like, the first thing I'm hearing is, what's your bank details? We want to pay you. I'm like, alright, yeah, cool, you can happily pay me. She's like, oh, do you want to do it on the phone or do you want me to do an email? I was like, no, you can do it right now. Like, the sooner the better. So I gave her the details on the phone. That was that. So I was due to be working again today. In fact, if I was working today, I would already be there right now. But I'm not getting a text. They text you on the day saying, oh, the coach is going to be there at this time, so make sure you're there for that. But I wasn't getting a text. And yesterday, she even called to say, oh, yeah, be there for an hour earlier. We'll pay you for the extra hour. I'm like, all right, cool, but I'm not getting any call. I'm like, what's going on? So I've texted her. I'm like, yo, like, what time is the coach today? What time is the pickup? And she's like, what have you done? They're telling me you're banned. I'm like, Come again? Banned? For what? I'm like, I didn't do anything. She says, yeah, you're banned from working. They say you're not allowed to work there anymore. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Have they said what I've done? And she said, apparently you put in no effort even after being encouraged. So I'm like, like, are you being serious? Because literally the guy I was working with literally said, you're doing fine, like, take your time. Now I'm fired for taking my time. Like, what? Like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Like, if they want me to work harder by slamming people's parcels onto the desk, I'm so sorry. That's not happening, mate. That's not happening, mate. And what I found nuts, like, it was my first shift. Like, all you had to do was email saying, oh, can you tell this guy to work harder next time or he will be fired. Even that would be extremely harsh, but I would firm that, cause it's like, yeah, at least you've spoken to me about it. Like, you have an issue and you've addressed it. But fam, I'm even like those people that, like, they see one little blip in the relationship and then they just cut the person off. Like, they don't even sit down and communicate what the problems are in the relationship. You do one thing, you're out. Fam, I'm laughing. I've stopped laughing as much now. But when it initially happened and I got the message, I can't, like, I was dying. I was dying. Because, like, what? Like, I'm so confused. And what makes it even funnier, my boy who's been working there that put me onto the job literally said that there was one time when he slept on the shift. He went canteen to sleep. He got caught. They kicked him out for the day. They said, yeah, you're going home. We're sending you home. You're not getting paid for today. But because the agency drive you back, he's had to wait in the change room for 4 hours just sleeping. And they told him to come back the next day. But me, who refuses to slam people's parcels and break them, is not working hard enough and working so lazy enough that it's worth me losing the job entirely. So I can't lie, fam, maybe that's God's way of saying, you know what, focus on YouTube and TikTok, all of that stuff that you're doing, and your degree, and money will find you. Trust me. You don't need to be doing like 9-hour warehouse shifts. I've got you covered. Cause I can't lie, that's the only feasible explanation as to how I could possibly lose my job after that. Like, trust me, I was not working. There were definitely people working slower than me at that warehouse yesterday. 100%. 100%. There was some girl next to me. I was putting in a shift. Even actually at one point, the guy I was working with went on a break, so I covered what he was doing, and he was taking out one trailer, and then I finished that, moved on to the next trailer, and then he joined me. He came back for that, and I literally, in my head, I was literally counting. For every one parcel he put onto the belt, I was putting on 2, sometimes even 3. There was one time he was taking ages, I put 6 on, but apparently I'm not working hard enough. So, yeah, apparently I'm a lazy worker. Me with the YouTube channel, the TikTok, the degree, I don't even know what else I'm doing. I lose count, all these other things I'm doing. Apparently I'm lazy. That's nuts. Fam, like, I can't lie. I'm a lot of things. But lazy's not one of them. I'll be so real. Lazy is not one of them at all. So, yeah, if you want to call me lazy, then cool. But all I'll say, if I'm not even going to name the company because it's literally still fresh. But if your parcels are being delivered by that company, say your prayers the moment you get told, your parcel will be delivered by blah, blah, blah. I can't lie. Say your prayers. Because management are telling people to break the parcels. They're literally telling people to treat the parcels with no regard, with no care as to what could possibly be inside the parcels. I witnessed it firsthand, and I refused to join in, and I lost my job because of that. So I can't lie. Is what it is. Is what it is. Those Jordans will have to wait, I guess. But fam, it's fine. The only ones I really wanted are the Red Thunders, and they're coming either today or tomorrow. So I might even do an unboxing video for those. But for now, yeah, I've been searching 1.4. 1.4 need to drop. I've heard that there's snippets that they're posting. YP's back. I have seen that, so I'm very excited for that. And you know, the moment they upload that, I'll be here. I'm at uni, so I'm in my room all the time. I may even be able to react to it like straight away, because there was one time they dropped at like 7 a.m. And I had to go to school. But yeah, if they drop at 7 a.m. here and I've got the day off, I can't lie, it will be an instant 1.4 reaction, which I don't think we've ever done. So that should be fun. But for now, I've been searching 1.4. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. I'll be back again soon.